to footballgameplan.com where football makes sense. That's Emery Hunter's Art of Playbook, and I'm Tyler Merkovich, bringing you an off-season team outlook for the San Francisco 49ers, and they had a pretty good year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Key free agent, though, defensive tackle Abreu Franklin, who they will franchise tag. Dre Bly, also free agent. On offense, Isaac Bruce, who's aging on the wide receiver position, but Alex Smith, I know you're the happiest man in the world now that he had a breakout year. Do you think they need to address that position, or what do you think their top need is?
Their top need is tackle. They have to protect up front. They were getting the teams were able to sack the quarterback a lot. The tackle play was terrible for San Francisco. And that carried over to the run game. So they need to get an offensive tackle in the works for left or right tackle, preferably a left tackle, but they do need offensive line help tackle, and they need to go defensively. They need a pass rusher. Outside linebacker, DN type of hybrid in that 3-4. They need someone that can get after the quarterback and rush the passer. They do have some good linebackers, but they do need a constant threat to get after the quarterback on defense.
Absolutely. And their secondary, they got Nate Clements. They got some names back there, Terrell Brown. Do you think they need to address there, too?
That's the second need. I think I kind of went out of order. I do think the second need is a safety/cornerback, where a guy like a Earl Thomas could come in there, a guy like a Patrick Robinson. But I like Earl Thomas in that spot because he can play corner and safety. But if they have to go either or, they can go either way with Thomas or Robinson or the guy Kyle Wilson out of Boise that's flying up the boards. So they do need their second need is cornerback/safety.
And their backs and receivers, you think they're sold? They got Gore, Michael Robinson back at running back. They've drafted Michael Crabtree. Josh Morgan looked decent at times. Mm-hmm. So you think they're sold at those positions?
Right.
But maybe they could address in the middle of the draft. I think this is where the Niners could go. Maybe build some depth at wide receiver for Alex Smith. They got Vernon Davis now. I mean, do they rely on that position so much that they draft a third or fourth rounder at wide receiver?
Yeah, I think so, because Isaac Bruce is going to retire, and so you got to get a guy that can man the slot. Maybe a guy like a Decker or Blair White, somebody like that, Andre Roberts out of the Citadel. So that is a good matchup. But I think another need for those guys is a guard. They need interior line play too, which is why a guy like Iupati can play two positions, can help out that offensive line a lot. They do need a guard in that aspect.
Well, they got a decent young player on the O-line in Joe Staley. So they build around this guy?
Well, they need their lineman help. Guard, tackle, that's what they need. Guard, tackle.
But you're sold on Staley being one of the tackles?
Yeah, Staley is a guy. Yeah, Staley is
right.
a guy. And you look defensively, like I said, the DN, outside linebacker, safety, corner, they need the help.
Yeah, a little more, some more pieces around Patrick Willis. I think they could improve, but they got a good core right there with the players they have in Vernon Davis, Patrick Willis, Nate Clements. I think it still has potential to be a pretty great player, and their wide receivers, Crabtree, he's going to be a pretty good one. And if Alex Smith plays consistent, this team can contend in the West.
Yeah, this is the team that's going to be the front runner this upcoming preseason for that division title because of the consistency they have at quarterback as opposed to Arizona.
Right. And I mean, they got Gore, who is one of the most underrated backs in the league, when healthy. And Mike Singletary, I mean, he's taken the next step of being a great coach. He really, really connects with the players. He's a player's coach. So I think they really believe in his system, and he's one of the coaches that really needs to deserve credit for how he's turning around this franchise, who was abysmal for the recent past.
The 49ers were five plays away from being in the playoffs.
I mean, that Brett Favre play killed them, that momentum. They had it.
The Colts game they had as well, too.
Yes.
You know, there were a couple plays in that Colts game that you were head scratchers. The Green Bay game, they could have won a couple of plays in that game. So those three games should have been victories for 49ers. So that kept them out of playoffs. This is a good team, a dangerous team.
A young team that can build, has the pieces. So they're one offseason away from being a 10, 11, maybe even 12-win team that could really contend in the playoffs. For more, visit footballgameplan.com or visit youtube.com/footballgameplan.